The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hey, welcome to Ringing All of the Sports. My name is Leo Connors, and I'm here with my co-host Derek Dukes. And we're going to get started right away, Derek. I really want to talk about the New England Patriots.
Oof, man, it's been a rough couple weeks.
Yeah, it started off, we were 10-0. We come in and we play the Denver Broncos with no Peyton Manning. And it seems like we're going to have a pretty easy time with it. We figure, right, no Peyton.
Right.
And a lot of mistakes happened, but got to give Denver credit. They played a good game.
Played a strong game.
They took us out.
Yep.
That next week was worse.
I wasn't expecting that.
I haven't seen the Patriots special teams play that bad in a very long time.
But it goes to show you how bad they were missing their defense, how bad they were missing their certain guys.
Yeah.
There's your proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
There.
Absolutely. The injuries have really mounted up, and,
Oh, it's terrible.
and it's just been horrible.
Yep.
It was nice this week. We got Gronk back, and that was great.
Yeah.
But we're still missing. We just lost LeGarrette Blount.
I know. It one after the other.
Yeah.
Dominoes.
And if we can get healthy, I think we can beat anybody.
Definitely.
Anybody. But
Well, it goes to show you when we're at full force
yeah. Oh yeah.
that we're, unstoppable.
Right. Absolutely.
When we're at full force, we're unstoppable.
Yeah. That back to the Eagles game, the block punt,
Oh, that killed me.
the block punt, the punt return by Sproles, the 83-yard punt return.
And if you watched the way they did it, I mean, even at home, I'm going, what are you doing? Why are you punting like this?
Yeah.
What? I didn't understand where they were going for it. You saw where they were coming in from.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
watch. I was very, perturbed at the time, shall we say?
Yeah.
And you watch him block that, grab it, and gone.
Yeah. And then that I think it was before the Sproles punt return, that 99-yard
Oh, man.
interception return by Malcolm Jenkins.
Unbelievable.
Just stepped right in front of it and off to the
Gone.
races. Off to the races. I seen Brady coming over, and I'm like, Tom, don't even bother.
Oh yeah.
Don't
Nope.
even bother. You're gonna get yourself hurt.
That kid was on fire.
Yeah.
He was gone.
That was a really hard game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2 games in a row we blew 14-point leads.
That quick.
Yeah, that quick. When we finally get back on the winning track this past Sunday
Yes.
against the Houston Texans,
Mm-hmm.
and 27-6, we held them out of the end zone.
Yep.
Couple of field goals for them.
Yep.
But they looked a lot better. There was a few misplays. Also, they dropped balls, a few
Yep.
of them. Keyshawn Martin with the fumble. I'm sorry, the drop on the
drop.
punt. On the
Yes.
punt. So now we got Tennessee Titans at home, and we go to New York to play the Jets, and then in Miami to play the Dolphins to round out the season. I really believe we need to stay as healthy as possible. We can't really afford to lose anybody else.
It's no question. No question at all.
It was nice to see Edelman come back to practice.
Yeah.
But it also scared me thinking that they were going to put him in the game because that they're going to be people going to step on his foot.
And they're going to do it on purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
Better believe it.
I mean, I just saw a play, I think it was yesterday on YouTube. I was just, scrolling through, and I'm trying to remember who it was, but it was a quarterback, and he got hit. It might have been Ben, Big Ben, and the guy went after his ankle.
Yep.
And tried to just roll right over it. From Cincinnati. I wish I could remember his name. I do remember reading it, but I can't remember his name. And it just seems to me that the guys are really going after guys.
Yeah.
Now more so than before.
Right.
Back in the day when in the 70s and even the 80s, they would just hit hard, bang,
Yeah.
bang, bang.
Right.
Now it's more like people trying to hurt each other.
It's more of a cheap shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sad because they try to, like ESPN for instance. You know what I mean? It's all about the money, obviously. For the sports station, and they turn around and you're like, remember when they were doing that thing? He got jacked.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're showing this, and these kids are trying to watch this, and that's what they're showing the kids nowadays.
Yeah.
That's why I'll be honest with you, I haven't turned on ESPN in probably a year. Not even to watch SportsCenter. I don't even bother anymore.
Well, a lot of the guys at SportsCenter are dumbasses anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
They really are.
Absolutely. But yeah, so if we can stay healthy, I think we can go very far.
We're very strong. When we're at 100%, we're at full game. We're unstoppable, and it's just the way it needs to be.
In the defense, even though the Eagles put up the 35 points, it really wasn't on the defense because 21 of them came on special teams.
Correct.
Well, actually, I'm sorry. The one of them was on the defense, the interception return.
That's it though.
But you know what I mean? And look, against the Texans, they gave up 2 field goals.
Right.
I like our defense. I think they're very underrated.
Yeah.
I think they're one of the best defenses in the league. I really do. And guys like Malcolm Butler has stepped up and played great. That secondary, which was a big question mark for us coming into the season, has played well. Chung, McCourty, Butler. There's one more. Well, those 3 and whoever the other guys.
Yes.
I'm sorry, guys. I drew a blank there, but those guys have played incredible. On the defensive line with Ninkovich, Chandler Jones, Easley, who just got hurt again, but it looks like he didn't get hurt too bad.
Yeah.
He should be back against the Jets,
Yep.
they're saying. So, and Gronk is just the man. And we got to talk a little bit about Gronk. Probably, if he continues to play and can stay semi-healthy, really, he'll be the best tight end in history.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
numbers that he has are incredible. Let's do a little example here. Ben Coates, great tight end. Okay, a lot of people say he could be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
I think he really could be. He caught 50 touchdown passes in 75 games. Gronk has 64 touchdowns in 66 games. 66 or 67.
It's crazy.
And if he continues that up, there's no doubt he's going to be the best in the league, best ever.
Yep.
I mean, there've been some great tight ends in football. Mike Ditka, Tony Gonzalez, the San Diego. Antonio Gates.
Right.
Antonio Gates. You got even Heath Miller at the beginning of his career in Pittsburgh. Great. Jason Witten in Dallas, and so on and so on. There's just been so many great tight ends. But if you ask me, Gronk is probably the best of all time.
Right.
And if he can stay healthy, he's only 26 years old. Can you imagine if he could stay healthy and all that until he's 32, 33? The numbers is going to have, it's going to be incredible.
Oh, I mean,
he's going to blow away any single tight end in history.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Brady, what can you really say about Brady that hasn't already been said by everyone? He's the greatest of all time.
Definitely is. Yeah.
The one team that scares me in the AFC in the playoffs is Pittsburgh because they can put points up like that.
Yep.
Like that. Ben is that good.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny how he has a bad game or two and everybody wants to say he's not that good.
Right.
Oh, baloney.
Well, they do the same with the Patriots too.
Oh yeah. It's hard to do that with Brady though.
Yeah.
You gotta admit, it's really hard
Yeah.
to say Brady.
Yeah.
They going into the season with all that turmoil with the Deflategate.
Yeah.
Everybody was saying, "Oh, Brady will not be as good as because he's gonna start to go downhill." Has anybody seen him go downhill yet?
No. No, not at all. You're gonna have some water.
Yes.
Some water.
Cheers. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas, my friend.
So let's talk a little bit about the Celtics.
It's it's that close.
Yeah.
That was everyone. I don't care if you were watching it from a cigar bar like myself,
Yeah.
or you were watching it at home, or you were at the
I
garden.
was at home.
See, it was nail biting.
We're talking about the Golden State game. And you could see the writing on the wall. Golden State was undefeated. I think they were 24-0 going into the game. Double overtime. The Celtics were in double overtime. We lost. But then the very next night, Milwaukee took them out for their first loss of the season. You could see it coming. And is Golden State the best team in the league? Absolutely. By far, there's not a team even close to them. But you can't win every game. You can't be on top of it's a professional sport. And every team's going to have their games where they're going to play better against better opponents. And that's what I think the Celtics are. When they play a tough team, they seem to rise above. They played Cleveland last night.
Yep.
And they stuck with them for a long time. Beginning of the fourth quarter, Cleveland started to pull away. But I really like the Celtics' chances. I think it's within the next 2 years we have 6 number 1 picks.
Oh.
They're a young team.
Yep.
A lot of people say, "Oh, they need a veteran right now," and they probably do, but they can get by without it right now. They're obviously not going to win the NBA championship this year, or probably not even next year.
It's pretty good though when excuse me, you have a team literally of I don't want to be rude, but you have a team of nobodies,
Right.
and they're playing that hard.
Yeah.
Well, good. Let them keep playing that hard and keep getting better at what they do, and keep playing that hard and keep better at what they do. Then they're going to beat every team like the old Celtics used to.
Right.
Like every time they go into the Garden or go wherever they go. It was the fact of the matter of that they were all played in cohesive, and these guys are learning that.
Yeah.
They're all young guys, and they're all fresh. They're all right off the farm, and
Yep.
and they're all great guys. They will start working together, and they'll see that, and that they'll be an unbeatable team.
I think so
I
too.
do too.
I think that the way they just play as a group is just incredible. And then you got individual guys that are phenomenal. I mean, Isaiah Thomas, the new one, not the Detroit
Yes.
Piston, is really a great ball handler. He's actually leads the Celtics in scoring. And he's actually, I think he's in the top 20 in the NBA in scoring, which you haven't seen that with the Celtics player since Paul Pierce,
Wow.
probably 5-6 years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's averaging over 20 points a game, but no one's going to touch Steph Curry.
No.
32.6 points a game. That kid is just
He's
incredible.
He's a beast. He really is.
It's my grandson Isaiah's favorite basketball player. He talks about him nonstop. Whenever he comes to see me, he shows me all the latest videos of him. And that's what he wants to be, a basketball player. And I tell him all the time, got to keep practicing, keep playing. The
Yeah.
only way to get there is to practice, practice, practice. You're
Yep.
not going to become a star.
You ever see him do a free throw? You don't even hear it hit.
I know.
You don't even hear it hit.
Yeah.
And you go, did that go in?
Yeah.
Did that? Oh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
in?
Yeah.
Because he's just
One
like
of the greatest
ease.
shooters.
Definitely.
He is the greatest shooter right now, but I mean, I would put him up with almost anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the past, even Bird,
Yep.
Jordan. In shooting, I'm not saying that these, because I mean, obviously, I got to ask you this question, okay? Because everybody says Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic, and all phenomenal basketball players. My guy that I think is the greatest basketball player of all time, and I know I'm going to hear a lot from this when I say it, but Oscar Robertson.
Yes, definitely.
The only guy to
Excellent,
the
yes.
only guy to ever average triple doubles for a season.
Yes.
And he did it twice.
Yep.
Twice.
Try to find that.
Yeah. Everybody makes a big deal out of hitting triple doubles.
Yep.
And this guy did it for seasons. I don't see how he can't be. He's not even in the conversation. That's what gets me mad.
Yeah.
It really does. It gets me so heated that nobody ever says him. And I hate to say it too, that nobody ever really brings up Kareem either.
No.
And he's got to be in the conversation as the greatest bat. And they say, oh, Michael Jordan, 6 championships. Bill Russell,
Definitely.
11 straight.
Yep.
So how is Bill Russell really not? And you don't even really hear Bill Russell in there either
No.
for the greatest basketball player of all time.
How do you actually put in perspective the terminology "the greatest"? Like Stone Cold Steve Austin said it best. He's sitting at a round table with Triple H, the boss.
Yep.
He's sitting with Shawn Michaels, and
Possibly the greatest.
possibly the greatest. Exactly. So how do you someone actually said the greatest match of all time, and all three of them stopped and said, well, what really is the greatest match of all time? And you have 3 of the biggest names in professional wrestling at the same table.
Yes, sir.
How do you go? You really can't say the greatest of all time,
Right.
because there are so many.
Exactly.
You can't put them 1, 2, 3, 4 because they're all the same. They're all great together.
Right.
So you really can't say, wow, Larry Bird was the best. Danny Ainge,
Right.
the best 3-point shooter in the game back then. Was he? Of course he was. But Spud Webb
Right.
would jump over Danny Ainge, over anyone, and to do what he did.
Right.
So how do you put the best?
Right. No, I agree with that 100% because eras are different.
Yes.
Eras are different. Like real quick with hockey, let's say, great Wayne Gretzky got all them points, but would you really think Gretzky would have had that many points if he would have played in the 60s and 70s, where every single player on that team was a tough guy
Correct.
and would have hit him as hard as they could
Yep.
every single time? I always argue that Mario Lemieux,
Yes.
who had a shortened career
Yep.
because of his back injuries
Yep.
and all that, would have been a better pro back then than Wayne Gretzky because
Yes.
he was a big guy, 6'4", 220 pounds.
Right.
While Gretzky was 5'9", 5'10".
Talk about goals.
70 points.
Talk about goalies.
70 pounds.
Look at goalies. Look at Cheese.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the greatest of all
Jerry,
time, I think.
See, exactly. But then you go Andy Moog,
Right.
Reggie Lemlin.
Yeah.
Okay.
All Bruins greats.
All Bruins greats. But then let's go to the other side. I'm sorry. My personal opinion on the best is Roy.
Yeah, he's up there. Absolutely.
Definitely is.
Definitely in the conversation.
That's the whole thing.
Mine is Tony Esposito.
See-
but I was an Esposito mock. You like those are my guys.
See,
when I was a
exactly.
kid.
So how do you put, man, wow, this guy did this guy did this guy did this. You really can't say the greatest of all time because they're all great at what they did.
Absolutely.
So that's how you do that.
I like this topic though because like you said, it's so hard to say who's the greatest. Same thing in boxing.
Yep.
Baseball, everything. The greatest baseball player of all time, in my opinion, only my opinion, Pete Rose will never be in the Hall of Fame. They just said it the other day.
Right.
He's not gonna be but know why? He sat there and said he didn't change. He lives his life the same way.
Right.
He lives in Vegas or right outside of Vegas. He's in Vegas every week. You don't think he's betting?
Of
course he is.
Come on. Of
And
course.
that's a shame. It's a shame. The guy with the only guy with over 4,000 hits, and he's not in the Hall of
No.
Fame. And it's a shame. I think he's done his time. I mean, it's been what, over 25 years?
Definitely.
At least, right?
Yeah.
At least 25
Yep.
years. But that's just such a great topic, though. The greatest of all time.
How do you put that in perspective of what? I mean,
Right.
Can we call it what era?
That would be the best way to put it.
That'd be
in
the
that
best
era.
way.
Yeah, because you would say 60s would be Russell,
Yes.
right?
Yep. Definitely.
70s, Kareem.
Kareem.
Yep.
Yep.
80s,
See.
that's where it gets tricky.
There you go,
Because
because-
you had so many. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was great players in the 60s and 70s, but I think those guys stood head and shoulders above anybody else.
Right, but then when you got into the 80s, when they got a little bigger, a little tougher,
Yeah.
so could you say Michael Jordan? Of course you can.
Of course you could.
Could you say Barkley?
Ooh, why not? Why
what-
couldn't he be in the conversation?
That's what I'm talking about. So
Right.
how do you know? Yeah, so they played two different sides on what they did,
Right.
but they were still great at what they did.
Yeah, yeah,
Like when again, we'll go back to professional wrestling,
yeah. Which we love to do.
which we love to do,
Especially here.
which I love to do. Shoot. And okay, WrestleMania 1 to WrestleMania present. That's how you could put what was the greatest match of that,
right.
of that
Yeah.
WrestleMania. Like, for instance, WrestleMania 1 and 2 really wasn't a great wrestling matches.
Right, right.
They were just getting their feet wet. When they went to 3,
Yeah, that's when it all changed.
I mean, my young kid sitting in the living room watching Ricky Steamboat battle Macho Man Randy Savage for the Intercontinental title for 45 minutes, that was an epic match.
yeah. And it still holds up today to watch it.
You better
It still
believe
holds
it.
up.
You better believe it does. But was that the greatest match of all time?
It was great.
But not of all time. It was
Right.
great for WrestleMania.
Yeah, yeah.
When Andre the Giant put Hulk Hogan over as, okay, it's time to pass the torch.
Right.
Let's call it pass the torch matches. You had Hogan was put over by Andre.
Yeah.
You had Hulk Hogan put over the Ultimate Warrior
Yep. Yes.
because that's
And that
what
was
you
the
do.
one that they talked about being the torch being passed even more than the Andre
That's correct.
Hogan match.
That's
they
correct.
talk about how he put the Warrior over clean.
And that's the whole thing. And it wasn't a BS match where, pulled the tights and did this. No, it was two baby faces going at it for a reason and for who was the best guy at the time. And of course, Hogan at the time, he was taking time off to go to TV shows and movies and stuff like that. So he put the Warrior over.
Right.
And then you keep going forward. So you go more forward where, let's go a little newer. So you have The Rock is the champion and he's battling John Cena. The Rock puts Cena over because he's passing the torch to him.
Right.
That's the whole thing. What is the greatest match of all time? You can't say that.
Right. There's so many.
Was Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels
The ladder match.
the ladder match? Was that one of the greatest of all time? Definitely.
It was a great match.
Was it the greatest match of all time?
Right.
Come on.
Right.
There's a lot of matches you can't say that with. 1998, Boston Garden. Not the Fleet Center, the Boston Garden.
Right.
Stone Cold Steve Austin wins the world title from Shawn Michaels.
Right.
Shawn Michaels was injured, hurt. It was his time to go.
Right.
He passed the torch to Austin
With a special guest, Mike Tyson.
with Mike Tyson. Exactly.
Mike Tyson.
And they did everything in Boston, which was huge. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, because of the venue, the only way we can do a pay-per-view ever for WrestleMania again would have to be Gillette.
Right. Oh, yeah. They're
Because-
going to stadiums anyway.
That's it, period. They're only going to do full stadiums now.
And I was surprised they went to New York last year because doing it in March or April, you're rolling the dice.
You-
You
that
don't
was-
know. I mean, look at now.
That was
December
close.
15th or 16th today?
16th.
Right? 16th. And today, this afternoon, it was what, 55 degrees at least?
Unbelievable. That,
You
you
know?
know what it is? That's our brothers letting us know
Yeah.
we're going to have a great Christmas.
Yeah, but remember last year, we didn't get any snow until January.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
And
I was
yeah,
in Florida.
Yeah, and we got hit with like 34 inches in the span
Oh,
of
that's
like
terrible.
29 days. And I know because I work right up the street at
Oh,
the
that's
high
terrible.
school.
I was on the beach smoking a cigar.
Well, you're pretty
Clearwater.
lucky because you know where I was? I was outside every night shoveling snow and slush and freezing my butt off. But you know something? I'm grateful to have the job that I have.
Yeah,
Believe me,
amen.
you know. Seeing that we keep going back to wrestling with everything, let's just dive
Let's
right
just do it.
in and just do the
Let's
rest
just
of the
do
show.
it.
Wrestling, but we will, for you MMA fans, we will touch on the fights this past weekend.
You know what? Oh, my.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
I get
Trust
shaky
me,
on that
we'll
one.
get to
That's
it.
crazy.
We will get to it. We're going to do about 25 minutes of wrestling,
Yep.
so then we'll talk some
Definitely.
UFC.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
You know, today, when I came in, before we were on the air, you were telling me about the TakeOver show today.
Well, the fortunate part, and I mean fortunate, is that they were over in the UK. So the show started at 3 o'clock this afternoon
Right.
and not like an 8 o'clock wrestling event because of the UK time.
Right.
And the great part is that when you have a phenomenal brand new phone and these new technologies, you can actually sit at work and
Yeah.
put NXT on and watch it on a full screen.
While you're working.
You know, it was great. Plus, it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. From 3 to 5, what I do for a living, it starts to slow down anyway. You get your person here and there, but I had it on the counter.
Yep.
And I had like shop guys coming in and watching it because they were interested. A lot of people don't even know what NXT is if you're not a wrestling fan.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it was a great show. It was a really great show. Very short, but it started at 3 and ended at 5. Short as in not as many matches. Not like, okay, this match was 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 7
Right.
minutes. No, they were short matches because they wanted to put over what they had. And which I appreciate one thing about NXT is their pay-per-views are for their champions.
Yes.
That's the way it should be. Every champion fights for their title.
Right.
And that is the way it always should have been. I don't know if Hunter is not paying attention on the WWE side of it because you have pay-per-views, you go, okay, who's the Intercontinental Champion? Did anybody know? Was he there tonight? Oh, he wasn't there? How about your tag team champ? Oh, your tag team champions were in a gauntlet match? What? Why would you do that? You want your champions on the pay-per-views for a reason.
Right.
NXT tonight was all champions.
Right.
Every match was a title match. And it was great. It was a great show. Great show.
I'll tell you with NXT and the WWE, the difference is the fans are just so like
Wow.
At
Yeah.
the wherever the NXT does their shows, the Full Sail Arena.
Well, see, here's the whole thing, too. Their home base.
Right.
Their home base is definitely Full Sail University over in Orlando. And they have to turn people away.
Right.
They can only sell so many tickets because it only holds so many people.
Right.
And people down in Orlando area / Tampa, I've heard of people driving from Naples
Wow.
to go to Orlando.
And that's what, like a 3-hour drive?
Well,
Is it more?
let's put it this way. From Fort Myers to, of course, beyond Naples, from Fort Myers to Miami is 3 hours.
Okay.
So, of course, you have to go by Naples
Right.
to get to Miami. So you figure if you're going Naples, so you figure from Naples to, that's an hour, 4.
4-hour drive and people are going down there.
And
like
they're
crazy.
doing it to go see NXT.
Right. Which is the hottest thing going right
And it really is. And they have such a wonderful product.
Right.
And of course, hometown boy, good friend of mine, Matt Bloom, is one of the head trainers over there now.
Yep.
And he is taking names.
Nice.
He's doing his thing. And I didn't realize they got 58 people in that sort of in the center. 58.
It's a lot.
Wow. That is a lot of guys, women, ladies, guys, to keep an eye on.
Right.
Well, you figure they have 3 or 4 rings.
Yeah.
They're all mic'd and they're all cameraed, and they do their thing. And one guy's doing, one trainer's doing this over here, one trainer's doing this over here, one trainer's doing this over here. They have full everything in there. They have full kitchens and stuff like that,
Right.
and they have workout rooms, and it's just a wonderful place. But you can't, as you and I, you couldn't go and knock on the door and ask for a tour.
Right.
You can't do that. When they give a tour, they set it up as a tour, which is coming up in January, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think it's January 15th. through the 17th or something.
No, they're
actually,
charging for that?
you have to buy a ticket.
Okay. I figured
Which-
you might as well make money. You make money
You know
any way
what?
you can.
No matter which way. I mean, it's probably not going to be a lot of money,
Right.
but it's the fact of the matter of you get to train you get to walk through the facility, you get to see what the guys do, you get to look around, see the locker room, so on and so forth. And that's a great thing because NXT, they're not full roster people. Yes, they get a paycheck, but they're not getting paid like John Cena and The Rock and these other guys.
Not many people are.
No, not yet.
Right.
Not yet.
Right, exactly.
Are they at that status yet? Of course not. Was John Cena a curtain jerker guy? Was
At
he
one time.
was he working for Sheldon Goldberg at one time? You better believe he was.
Yeah, I was.
Of course he was. Was Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton in a curtain jerker match at Raw back, in the early millennium? Of course they were curtain jerker matches. They were on before. I apologize for the curtain jerker. I meant a dark match.
Yep.
I apologize. I'm talking wrestling. I apologize. So they were doing dark matches together, and now look where they went. I mean,
Right.
between Randy, who his father is, and between Lesnar, what he's done, these guys have became superstars. Were they at FCW? Of course they were. Were they doing their thing down there, learning to do, what they do? Of course they were. So at one time, these guys had to be somewhere from somewhere.
Right.
Now look at them. Now you got people like Randy Orton and them guys who go up through in what they do.
Right. Now, right now, speaking of the training center, we know there's a couple of local guys down there.
Yes.
Well, definitely Biff Busick.
Yep.
Big fan of. I used to love his podcast. I used to tell him on
Yep.
Facebook, and whenever I seen him, it shows more.
Yep.
Need more podcasts.
Yep, definitely.
Him and Ted were incredible
Yeah.
with their podcast. But Biff's down there now. They got Rich Swann down there now from a New Jersey, New York boy.
Yeah.
I like the roster they got down there.
Yep.
I really do. They got a lot of talent. We were disappointed. We talked earlier off the air too about the how they should have brought some guys up for that title tournament. I mean, everybody knew Titus O'Neil wasn't going to win.
No.
You know what I mean? Everybody knew. They could have made some stars, and they need to make new stars because attendance.
Nothing
is
against
starting to go
Titus.
down.
Nothing against him at all, of course,
Right.
because he's a great athlete.
Yes.
But it's the fact, the matter of, do you really think he was going to be put over?
Right.
No.
Right.
Triple H sees something in a person. Look at Kevin Owens.
Yep.
No offense. You know why I love Kevin Owens? And I'll say this every time. Fat guy who can wrestle.
Yeah.
And he's a worker.
Big time.
If you go over, he's not in the gym.
No.
He's sitting there watching you in the gym.
Yeah.
But you know what he is doing? He's over in that ring for 11 hours a day doing his thing, doing his cardio, doing this, doing that. He doesn't need to go and lift weights and get all this.
Right.
No, that's not his style.
Right.
You ever seen him work? Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. One of the best in the business.
Definitely.
Right now.
Definitely.
Which I don't understand. They pushed him and pushed him and pushed him. Pulled it back. Push him. Pulled it back. I mean, the title match the other night in Boston, the TLC pay-per-view,
Yes.
that match against Ambrose was unbelievable.
Two great workers.
Unbelievable. What a great match.
Two great workers.
I think match of the night.
Yeah.
You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And all the controversy with Roman Reigns, losing again, only to give him the title the next night on
Right.
Raw for free.
Exactly. Right.
What are you doing?
Yes, exactly.
You shouldn't be giving that stuff away. I mean, don't get me wrong, because of the network, you got to pay $9.99. It's not that much as a pay-per-view.
Right.
But why would you give it to him for free? I just don't understand. I love wrestling, I really do, and I'm not going to lie. I fast forward a lot of stuff now.
It's a lot of it,
read
yeah.
results. Some of the things I'm talking about, I might have just read about.
Yeah.
I might not have even watched it, and I'm not lying. Why lie about it? You know what I mean? The product doesn't make me go, I have to watch the whole thing.
So we talk a lot about
Pay-per-view, I did watch.
Listen,
Don't get me wrong,
you-
the whole thing.
Usually, I mean, when it comes to the pay-per-view, of course, because of their matches and what they do, you have to keep an eye on them because you got to keep an eye on this person and this person, what's doing this and who's doing that and who's doing what. And sometimes you look at the storylines and you go, what are you doing?
Right,
What are you doing with the Dudleys?
right. Yeah, I don't understand that.
2 nights in a row, you put this other team, which I understand again because you're passing the torch. I understand that, but I was hoping, not that I'm a creative writer for WWE,
Right.
but I was always hoping
be.
that, not that I wouldn't want. Hey, not that I would
You
ever.
could be.
not
I
that
think I could be too. Some
that-
of the stuff that we see.
Not that I'd ever turn it down, my
Right.
friend. But what are they thinking? I was really hoping that they bring the Dudleys in, few of this, few of that, boom, tag titles for the 10th time in WWE. Now remember, WWE doesn't look at other title reigns.
Right.
Unless it has to do with them. So 10 times with them. But total, if they win that, will be 25
Right.
world tag team titles.
They're going to give it to him one more time, I guarantee it.
But
They
I was
will.
really hoping before WrestleMania, because I would love to see them inducted,
Right.
go to Mania, put the next tag team over that is worth putting over to pass the torch to, and then Hall of Fame.
Right. That's a big question too, like the Hall of Fame this year.
They haven't said anything.
Except not yet, and they will soon though. And they usually do it starting in January. They do. They usually give you one a week.
But I'm hearing really, matter of fact, I just got goosebumps. I'm hearing Owen finally.
Really, that would be great. Is his wife gonna finally just?
Oh, she gave up finally.
She gave the blessing.
They finally told her enough's enough. Enough.
Right.
I understand that what happened to him was tragic, and no matter
Tragic.
which way you look at it,
Yeah.
and I always say that if you had cable and you were watching that pay-per-view, you didn't see it. If you had satellite, you saw him fall. It was horrendous.
Right.
But let's excuse the terminology, dead dogs lie, and let's let the man go into the Hall of Fame where he belongs.
He belongs there.
Yes, he does.
You know.
Yes, he does.
I have a feeling the Fabulous Freebirds will be going in.
Finally,
And unfortunately, there'll only be one man.
there's only
member
one
there.
left.
Yeah. And it should have been a long time
How
ago
do you
anyway.
how do you not put the Freebirds in, but put the Von Erichs in?
Right. They should have went in the same year.
That should have been.
The same year.
I would just like when they put Kevin Nash in.
Yeah.
Okay, you see all the NWOs up there. So why would the same year? Why wouldn't you put the Freebirds and the Von Erichs on the same stage?
Yeah.
That would be great because that was legendary.
Legendary.
And you got to remember, man. And Michael Hayes will tell you, because I've actually sat and talked with him, that those bull rope whip matches, you had to take a week off.
I believe it.
Because those guys were all stiff down in Texas, and that's
Right.
the way they were trained, and that's the way they were taught. Those were really getting whipped back then. You know, they didn't
Yeah.
hold back like they do now, but they really got whipped really hard. And you look at the Hall of Fame and you go, why isn't this guy in? Why isn't this guy in? You look at certain people who already should be well into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And it just kills me, and I don't understand it. I don't understand the politics maybe of it.
Right.
You know?
I really do hope Owen gets in there
I hope it's this year. I hope it's this year.
Long overdue, you know.
I really hope it's this year, and that's what I'm hearing.
I'm glad to hear that his wife Martha is, finally given the blessing for it. Because,
Finally, though.
And in some ways, you can't blame her. I mean, Owen he only wanted to wrestle a couple of more years.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted to do. He wanted to make that money, tuck it away, and stop wrestling and be with his family.
But what he did, in the Attitude Era with his brother, that was all epic.
Yeah.
And you know what? Brett saw what a talent he was and said, you know what? Yeah, I'm doing this. Let's do storyline. Let's flip the script. Sounds great.
Right.
Let's flip the script. And boom, every time. And matter of fact, on WWE Network right now, they're doing a special on Owen Hart.
I just saw it.
It's wonderful.
Unbelievable.
I mean, grown men. I was in tears.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful, wonderful thing. I actually got a chance to not work physically with Owen. We did a show in Connecticut. I was working for the NWA at the time. And Owen happened to be there. And everything they said about Owen is very true. Very, very true. Happened to be Stevie Richards on the card and Test and all these guys. So Stevie and I are sitting there talking, and my sister was inside, and Stevie just got out of the shower, and we were just at the lockers. And Steve and I are just shooting it a little bit. And my sister says, I'd love to take a picture of you guys, because you guys are friends. I haven't seen you guys in a long time. So I go over to Stevie. I actually have the picture at home, and I will show this to you, and I know you'll laugh. So Stevie's holding his towel, and I thought my sister was going to go upwards a little bit, and I show the towel. Not 42 seconds after that snap, and I gave him a hug, Owen come up behind Stevie and pantsed him.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
But as he pantsed him, my sister was leaving and opened the door. And all the Mizarks are out in the hallway, and there's Stevie Richards with his family jewels out. That's the kind of person Owen was.
Right.
And it was a pleasure to work and speak with him. I didn't work physically with him, but it was a pleasure to work
Right.
in the same, listening to him talk about, because it was actually him and the Big Boss Man that night. And talking with Ray was wonderful.
Right.
But listen to those two talk about their match. Unlike you see the guys now who are very physical on what they do out back, these guys just sat back and talked about what they did and had an unbelievable 20-minute match.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Right. the Big Boss Man was a hell of a worker.
Ray was great, and he was wonderful. Everything from Big Bubba Rogers up to the Big Boss Man.
Oh yeah, the Bubba Rogers stuff was great.
You know, him, Jim Cornette, and then Midnight Express. I mean, he even was put over for a world title when the UWF was around. He was the UWF World Heavyweight Champion. So he got his status, you know, back in the day, shall we say, when the UWF and the NWA, when they were clashing, and then he went over to the NWA because UWF got bought out by the Crockett's.
Right.
Over to that side. When he went over to the WWF, I keep saying F because that's what it was back then.
Back then it was that.
He became, of course, the Big Boss Man and so on and so forth, and he had a great career. And Ray was great people, and God rest his soul.
Yeah, I'm like I said, back to Owen. That was just
Yes.
incredible that they're going to be doing this. Hopefully, like you said, hopefully.
I'm really hoping. That's what I'm hearing.
Hopefully.
So please don't hold me to it, but that's what I'm hearing.
It's time, though.
It is.
It's time. Like I said, that and the Freebirds,
Yep.
which should have been in there, like you said, a long time ago.
I agree.
With the Von Erichs. So Roman Reigns, we talked. I just brought up a minute ago. He won the title on Monday night on Raw, beating
Sheamus.
Sheamus. Yeah, Sheamus. Or as the fans like to tell him, you look stupid.
Right. First time in a year Vince McMahon has stood in his own ring.
Yeah, and the fans love it. I'm glad Vince.
Are
got
you
it,
kidding me?
but he's looking old.
He's
I know.
70 years
He's
old.
looking it though. Before I mean, like body-wise, he's in great shape.
Of
and all
course.
that, but you could see it. He's a workload. The guy's a workaholic.
He definitely
And
is.
that's what they say about him. That all he does is work nonstop.
Yep.
He thinks you're weak if you sneeze.
Yes.
You ever hear that one?
Yes.
If you
Yep.
you should be able to control all those things.
Yes.
Ah.
He's one of those.
He's one of those guys. But to see him in the ring and he gets a bigger pop than almost anybody.
You know, especially being in Philly,
Yeah.
which was nice, and someone said Vince's name, you couldn't hear the announcers over the crowd.
Right.
And that's what you want. And then Vince gets out.
Stephanie was the one that brought that up.
Definitely. And she did a great job
Yeah.
on bringing it up to it. Oh, someone's on their way here, by the way.
Yeah.
Boom. Great pop. Car pulls up. Steph runs over, grabs the door. There's the big dog.
Yeah.
Can't even hear the announcers. Again, big pop for him. And he starts strutting.
Oh, I love it.
The strut is the McMahon strut.
Yeah.
And then doing his thing, what he does best. Vince definitely knows the business, but he is always and will be an owner / a boss. He doesn't know it from my point of view, on my side of it. He's never been one of the boys. Yeah, he had a few matches, but he's never been one of the boys.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. He like you said, he did have a few matches, and some of them were fantastic. One of the greatest visions I've ever seen in wrestling is when he was, I think it was Austin, I could be wrong, or it might have been Brett, but he comes up from inside the curtain, he's outside the ring, and he's inside the curtain, and his head pops up with that maniacal
With that look.
on. Unbelievable.
Yes.
I mean, I seen it, I watched it the other day, because I watch a lot of the network.
Yeah.
I do, especially now that they've added all those shows, the Smoky Mountain, the AWA.
Isn't it
the
wonderful?
Mid-South. I've been waiting for this.
I know.
I've been paying for this network for 2 years now, and finally they're giving me what I want.
Yes.
But they're still not giving me everything that I want. I've been waiting for the old WWF All-Star
Oh, wow.
Wrestling.
Yes, yes.
Now, before they had the network and they were on demand,
Yep.
every 2 weeks they would put on a television show, and they started it like in 1975. The show started way before, but what I'm saying is
Right.
what they would show you.
Right.
So every 2 weeks there'd be one. As soon as I'd watch that one, the one that would be on for 2 weeks, I'd watch that 5 times. It would bring me back to being 10 years old.
Yeah.
In my bedroom, running out to tell my mother that next week Mil Mascaris is going to be here, or Dusty Rhodes.
Yep.
And I love my mother so much, but she would say, and I won't even say the swear words, but she would be like, get that out of
Yes,
here. I
yes.
don't care about wrestling.
Yep.
I hate it. And I'd go back in my room, sulking for like 30 seconds, walking back to my room. But the minute I started watching it again, I forgot all about what my mother did.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
was back drawn right in. What drew me to wrestling was the characters.
Yes, definitely.
It wasn't, I mean, Bruno was great, Pedro was great, but it was the George Steeles.
Yep.
That made me go, wow. Even going back before that, in like 73, when I was 8 years old, the Wolfman.
Oh, wow. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I couldn't go outside walking down the road and see the Wolfman or George Steele.
Bobo Brazil.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those guys were just larger than life.
Yeah, definitely.
And then as time went on, I got older and I realized what wrestling was really all about, and it was entertainment things. But still, what drew me was the missing link. Things
Wow.
like that.
Yes.
You can't see things like
Kamala.
that. Come out. You can't see that walking down the street. I do this all the time. When Isaiah was little, I would do that. He would
Yep.
go, "You're Kamala." He
Yep.
was only like 4 years old, but I was teaching him
Yes.
wrestling.
That's correct.
You know, things that I love, you pass on to your kids.
And
Whether it's music, sports,
no matter
anything,
what it is,
whatever
you know.
it is.
And unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately. I never had a son. I have a daughter.
Yeah.
And fortunately, on this part of it, that she got to come on the road with me a few times, especially working for ECW and stuff. I mean, my daughter to this day, which I can't believe she remembers, she actually got into a ring and got to elbow drop, splash, and drop the leg on Kane.
Nice.
And it was a great show. It was great. It was good. And when I told her to cover Kane, and she covers him, and Rob Van Dam jumped in the ring and played 3 count for me, and everyone around, you know, because of course this was when they were moving over, doing everything toward going into the PG era, and it was. I had a daughter, of course. Like I said, she did care less about it now, and she's going to be a cop and everything. So she could care less about wrestling.
I hear. I got 2 daughters and I got 1 son. Excuse me. 2 adult children,
Right.
and 1 still in middle
Right.
school. But my son loved wrestling when he was younger. Really doesn't care for it much anymore. You know what I mean? My older daughter never liked it.
Yep.
She came to. She actually came to one of the Ring of Honor shows that I catered back in 2002, and she was probably, I'd say 2002. She was about 17, and I'll never forget all the Special K boys. You know, to range, and is that your daughter? Is that your daughter? I said, yeah. Oh, wow, she got a boyfriend? Stay away from my
Right,
daughter.
right.
I might just be a caterer, but I got a big night here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You know what will happen if I use this?
That's
and they
right.
laughed, and they respect that, you know what I mean? Because I was giving them a service. I wasn't one of the boys or anything
Right.
like that. You know what I mean? I'd bring the food. They were all just happy to be eating for free.
Yes.
Rob would take care of the bill.
Better believe it.
You know? But Sarah, on the other hand, you know, like I said, she's 14. She comes over every year for WrestleMania. You know, I have a friend or 2 over. Isaiah comes over. I put out food, and we love it. And she'll watch the whole show.
Yeah.
You know, I take her to an independent show, and I'll turn around and I'll be like to my girlfriend, to Maria, "Where's Sarah?" She go, "Oh, look, she made friends with some girls, and she's in the front row screaming at somebody."
Yes,
and
right.
It's the funniest thing because here's a kid that barely watches wrestling,
Right.
and then there she is in the front row screaming. She loves it. Her favorite wrestler is the Underground King, Slick Wagner Brown.
How could it not be?
And he's one of my favorites.
How could it
too.
not be?
But we went to one of the shows where you were working the security at the MWF show, and there
Wow.
comes Slick as a heel.
Yep.
And there's Sarah. And I'm standing right next to her. And she's like, "Daddy, I want to cheer him." I said, "Well, he's a bad guy. You can cheer whoever you want."
That's right.
So she doesn't know what to do. She's just looking at him.
Yep.
And Slick comes. And Slick's, almost every year of her life, I've had a picture of her with Slick.
Yep.
Almost every single year. I think I might have skipped 10 or 11 because I just didn't see him.
Yep.
Okay? But so as he walks by, he knows, he can see it in her face. And she's probably, at this time, she's probably like, she's 14, probably 9 or 10.
Yep.
And he looks at it and he lifts the glasses up and winks at her. Just keeps watching.
Right,
You
right.
know what I mean? She just looks at me.
Yep.
She's like, he winked. I'm like, well, honey, because he knows you love him.
He totally
He
kept-
knows you love him, and he's a heel, and he want to let you know that he sees you.
Totally kept kayfabe.
Yeah.
Yes, he
and
did.
It was just incredible. You know,
Yeah.
that's some of the things that from what I've done, like with wrestling, selling merchandise at
Yep.
shows or catering shows. I've gotten to know some of the guys. I'm not going to sit there and say they're my friends because I don't call them up or anything like that. But I love running into them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
saying hi. I saw Bo at the UFO show the
Yep.
other night. You know, he came over. I was with Isaiah. He walked away, and Isaiah's like, "He's busy a wrestler." I'm like, "Yeah, you'll be wrestling later."
Yep.
He goes, "You know him?" I said, "Yeah, I've known Bo for a long time. He's a great guy. We've said it here before. Great guy.
Definitely.
Who definitely we got to get on the show.
I'd love to.
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Gotta get him.
Another local guy.
You know? Absolutely. We did, the last show we did, we had Jason Rumble, the Boston Bad Boy, on. Unfortunately, he was going to come on tonight, but his daughter has a Christmas play. And next week, he won't be on either because I'm doing a hockey show.
Right.
I got my son, my daughter's boyfriend, and my nephew all coming in to do a round table of hockey talk. The whole show's going to be about hockey. I've been wanting to do this since the first show.
Nice.
I love wrestling, and I love hockey.
Yes.
I watch more hockey sometimes than I do wrestling.
Understandable.
You know what I mean? Because hockey's on almost every night.
Yep.
Almost every night of the week, you can watch a hockey game on the NHL Network
Yep.
or NBC,
Yep.
the sports channel,
Yep.
65, whatever it is. I know what the channel is, but everyone's probably different. That's going to watch us on YouTube. Around here,
Of course.
it's 65 and 57 and 865
Right.
in HD.
Right.
So we were going to talk. We said earlier we were going to talk about MMA.
Oh boy.
This was an incredible card. The main event, I'm still shaking my head at, but we'll work our way up to the main event.
Yes.
I'd like to talk about the semi-main event first. Luke Rockhold and Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman was undefeated, like 13-0, the All-American boy,
Yep.
going in to take on Luke Rockhold. Luke's a lot bigger, taller. I mean,
Yeah,
you know. And Weidman, after all his victories, everybody thought that this kid just can't lose.
Yep.
Luke Rockhold beat the living, you know what, out of him.
He did too.
I mean, it was like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Weidman couldn't do anything.
You know what it seemed like? It seemed like, I'll use the terminology like a wrestling match when you're putting someone over. He had nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, I don't know all the ass talk and so on and so forth. That's great. All the hype is wonderful. But if you can't bring that to the ring, to the octagon,
Right.
not the ring, excuse me,
Right,
the octagon,
right.
then I mean, he pummeled him.
Yeah.
He really did.
Yeah. There was another good fight the night before. We'll just go back real quick. They had a fight night
Yes.
on Fox Sports
Yep.
1. And that was the night Frankie Edgar knocked out Chad Mendes.
Yes.
And that was the fight was going pretty well. You know, it was pretty even. And then bang, one punch. Chad was down.
That's all
and
it
out.
takes sometimes.
You know, Frankie, who's going to get the shot next
Yep.
against the guy we're going to talk about right now,
Ooh, boy.
Conor McGregor.
Animal.
Yeah. George Carroll, I know how happy you were, that's for sure. You were posting about it all the time. That's your boy. And he definitely got the job done. 13 seconds.
Wow. Just unbelievable.
One punch. There was only two punches thrown the whole, well.
Technically three.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Connected.
Yes.
Connected.
Yes.
One by Aldo.
Wow.
And he connected after he was hit.
Yep.
And I watched that replay over and over and over. And it looked like it was a delayed reaction. You know, like when you hit somebody, sometimes it's lights out.
Yes.
Like that. And other times is not a second, less than that, like
Yep.
maybe 0.3
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
right? Where he threw the punch, he connected. But I really do believe that as he hit him, that's when Aldo's lights went out.
Yeah.
Like it was like he hit him because you see Conor go back. He did catch him with a
Oh, he
decent
got him.
punch.
You saw him. He got him right here.
I'm just wondering, and believe me, I don't think, after watching what happened, even if he wouldn't have gone out, Conor would have turned his lights out eventually.
Yeah.
That was just,
Yep.
the kid's just too big for that weight class.
Yeah, he is.
You know? Is he going to beat Frankie Edgar the next fight? I think so.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in Conor McGregor now. I mean, I've always I like him.
I love Frankie though.
Yeah, me too. I love Frankie. And the thing is, I've never been a huge fan of in boxing or MMA. Now,
Yes.
wrestling obviously is different because
course.
of it's predetermined and
Yes.
stuff like that. But I've never been a big fan of the boisterous guys.
Yeah.
But I love how Conor, no matter how much he hypes the fight and sells the fight and talks trash. At the end of the fight, he always has respect.
He ran right
I
over.
love that. I love that.
He did his thing. He
Yep.
celebrated, but as soon as he was done celebrating and playing the role, shall we say, he went right over to check on him, make sure he was okay.
Well, from what I read today, Big John McCarthy, the referee, said that he went over and said, "You are a great champion, and we can do this again if
Yep.
you want."
Definitely.
Their respect is just phenomenal. And I'm sure there's always been respect in sports to a certain point. But the first time I saw respect like that between two guys was Atero Gatti and Mickey Wood in boxing.
Oh, wow.
The respect, and that's where we're on right now, real quick, the respect part of everything,
Yeah.
you know? It's something that I teach Nicole at home about when she goes through her program, you know what I mean, every day. Respect, because she likes to misbehave at times.
Right.
You know? Believe me, that's just, sometimes I laugh, because, not with her, though, because I'm teaching her things.
Right.
But like some of the things that she's done, like she'll throw like a rubber ball at somebody. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like, you can't do that, honey.
Right.
So I've been teaching her respect. So to see that from Conor after every fight that he's won, after he's talked so much trash, is so refreshing. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
know MMA shows a lot more respect than boxing has done in the past, but Conor is just I don't know, on another level.
Yeah, but you know,
Another level.
he's definitely the Flavor Flav of MMA.
Right.
He's a hype man, but gets the job done
Oh, yeah.
every time.
Yeah, yeah.
Every time.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. He's what is he? 5'9"?
Yep.
5'9", and 145 pounds.
Which now he wants to cut.
He wants to go down in weight?
Yes.
Wow.
He's been talking about that even before this other fight. He wants to cut weight to go down, and why would you?
Right. Well, all right. Conor is tough and he ain't afraid of nobody.
Right.
But I have a feeling if he goes up in weight, there's a couple of guys waiting for him.
Oh, definitely.
And one guy
You better
who's
believe it.
fighting this weekend. My boy.
Yes.
The cowboy.
Yep.
Donald Cerrone.
You know, he's funny,
That's
man.
a fight that
He's-
I would pay double to see.
He's funny, man. He really is.
I
He's
love
just
Cowboy.
he's entertaining at the same time as just brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a great fighter. He
Yeah.
can also sell a fight too.
Definitely.
Definitely sell a fight.
But he's a big boy.
Oh yeah. First time I ever seen him was on that show that they used to have Tap Out.
Yes. Yep.
And he was on the very first episode. And I saw him and I was like, wow, I like this kid. There was just something about him that I said, wow. And I followed his career ever since. And he's had his ups and downs.
Like every fighter does.
But I do believe that he's going to finally win the title this week.
Wow. Okay.
And if he does, then Conor has to go up in weight.
See, that's the whole thing.
Has
He would
to.
have to.
He has
Yeah,
to.
he would have to.
You know?
Yep.
Because you know that fight will be made immediately. They've had their trash talking with each other.
Yep.
That on the way up to the first fight with Mendez.
Yes.
Because Aldo backed out, got hurt,
Yep.
whatever. He was in that big press conference, and there was fighters everywhere, and he was starting arguments with everybody.
Everybody.
3 guys at least, you know. And I'll never forget the one with Mendez, and Conor's very funny, you know.
Oh,
He's
very
sitting there,
comical.
and Mendez is sitting down, and he says, "Stand up, I can't see you," and all these things to Mendez.
Right.
And, you know, Chad doesn't know what to say because he's not a trash talker.
No.
You know?
Nope.
So you know the hype coming up between Cerrone and McGregor is going to be hilarious.
It's gonna be, yeah.
It's going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
Because both can talk trash
Yep.
with the best of them.
And they can also throw down.
Oh, my God. Conor is just one of the best fighters out there, obviously. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Obviously. But he's just so damn entertaining.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, no matter what he does. You could just watch him fishing and just let him talk. Or do anything. You can have him just washing the floor. Just as long as he's talking,
Yep.
you're going to be captivated to watch this kid.
Because he's a superstar. He is
a
he's
superstar.
charismatic. You know?
Oh, he's unbelievably
Yeah.
charismatic.
Yeah.
You know? The most charismatic guy in MMA.
Definitely.
By far. Chael Sonnen, you were great when you were fighting and all that, but Conor's got you way beat with that. Way beat. He does, in my opinion.
No, you're totally right. But then you talk about, like we talked about a minute or so ago, about respect. You know, the only person in MMA who never had any for anybody was Tito Ortiz.
Yes.
As much as in his younger years he was a wonderful fighter,
Yeah.
he was a great fighter, he was
Right.
strong. But you know what? Over the years, he just got ignorant and didn't care. And even after he would win, he just wouldn't help or thank you. He'd
Right.
just leave.
Yeah.
You know, after the win, he'd he'd leave. He wouldn't go check the other guy.
Right.
That's the ignorance of the sport.
Yeah.
Then you got people. Then you go the other side of it, and you go in a lower term, and you got Conor.
Right.
Who-
Who shows so much respect when it's all said and done.
Hype. Are you all right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I absolutely love that.
Yep.
I can't get enough of that, like when he does that. I really can't. I love the trash talk and I love the hype in the fight. But when it's all said and done, to watch him go over and then in the press conferences afterwards say, you know, he was a great champion. I respect him so much. You know, the trash talking's part of selling a fight and
Of course
all
it
that.
is,
But the respect I
let's
have
do
for
it
him,
again.
so the respect I have for him as a champion, as a man,
Yep.
is second to none.
Definitely.
You know,
Yep.
and he says it a lot more funny than I just said it because with his little accent,
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it's
It's-
pretty
it
funny.
is. It's
like
pretty good,
watching
though.
the Lucky Charms.
It's
you know?
good, though. It is
It
good.
really is. So now we're ending the show in a minute here. Donald Cerrone, Rafael dos Anjos.
Yes.
This weekend. Does Cowboy win the title? Rafael's already beat him once.
Man, can't call this one. I can't, not this one. I can't. I understand you already beat him once, but you know what? I think with him beating him once, he's going to come back stronger and harder. No.
Wow.
No.
You don't.
No.
So who you think Cowboy's going to win? Or you think Rafael's going to
I think Rafael's going to take it.
See, and I hope not. I'm gonna stick with my boy Cowboy.
But I'm telling you right now, it's going the distance.
Yeah.
It's going the distance. That's why he's going to lose. It's going the distance. Yes, because he's going to come back harder and stronger this time, but it's going the distance.
So Rafael's gonna retain the title.
Yes.
You heard it here from Derek.
You heard it.
And
You heard
I'm
it.
gonna call it right now, Cowboy. Second round knockout. High kick.
Ooh.
Pound and ground. Pound and ground. Hello. Ground and pound. Referee pulls him off. Cowboy, the new champ. Bringing the title.
I call it right to 5 to decision.
Wow. That's gonna be a great
They're going to
fight.
bang heads, man.
Right. And it's a free fight.
Yes.
Just so everybody knows. It's a free fight
Yes.
on Fox Sports 1. You're welcome. Send my check. I'll split it with Derek. You know, we could use the
Yes,
money. At
we'll
the
split it on
holidays.
water.
Yeah, a little water here for the working man.
Water. Water. That's great water in there. Great water.
Yeah,
Great
I'm
water.
gonna have to need some coffee before work.
Yes, definitely.
I don't tell my boss.
I promise you.
But so next week, like I said, we're gonna have an all hockey show. There'll be no wrestling talk. There'll be no MMA. There'll be nothing. Maybe opening real quick bit about how the Patriots did against Tennessee, which I think we should be okay.
Yeah.
Let's hope we don't go down with any more injuries because
Yes.
we really can't afford any more. You know,
Yep.
we really can't afford any more. Let's hope Gronk continues to stay healthy. But so next week I got, like I said, Matt Saya, Kevin Polito, my son Michael Connors in studio talking all hockey, from predictions, who's gonna win the MVP, who's the least most valuable player,
Right.
who's the best captain, who's the worst captain, who knows? We're gonna talk all about everything about hockey, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, everything. I'm excited. It's gonna be great. Derek will be here with us. I don't know about if we can fit 5, we're definitely going to have the 5 of us. But that's it for us here at Ring and All
Brother,
Other
Merry
Sports.
Christmas, brother.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
my
Christmas,
friend.
buddy.
So that's it for us. Take care. Peace.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.